What's up, guys? Tanner Larson here, and I want to talk today about pioneers, okay? And why you don't ever want to be a pioneer in today's day and age. And in most cases, let's just be honest. Like, if you have the next Uber, well, in that case, you kind of got to be a pioneer. But if you're in the e-commerce space, where the e-commerce space is constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, things are constantly updating and moving and things like that, the last thing you want to be is a pioneer. It's a terrible industry to be a pioneer in, okay? Now, pioneers, they blaze new trails, okay? Pioneers are pig-headed, hard-headed, stubborn, and think they've always got a better way, okay? Pioneers are the guys that you'll see starting at the bottom of the mountain, okay? They'll walk right past the gondola that can get them to the top of the mountain in a matter of minutes, and they'll start to climb the mountain by hand, okay? Pioneers will see something that's working, and then they'll go do something different because they've got a better way to do it, even though it's basically the same thing. Okay, this is the thing about pioneers. Now, pioneers are very easy to identify in business, okay? Because pioneers are usually the ones that are laying dead on the ground with their back full of arrows, okay? You know, yes, pioneers do achieve great things, but it's like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 that actually survive, okay, and thrive. So you can really easily identify the pioneers by the ones that are dead with their backs full of arrows, okay? Now, that's not to say that, like, you know, entrepreneurs are bad or anything, because the biggest problem with entrepreneurs is not that they don't have vision. Now, pioneers, there's nothing, nobody would ever say a pioneer doesn't have vision, right? But ecompreneurs, people might say, oh, they don't have vision or whatever else, but that's not the case. Ecompreneurs do have vision, and that's not their problem. Their problem is that they more than likely, as they're pursuing that vision, they're going to run out of time and or money along the way that's actually going to prevent them from fulfilling or achieving their vision, okay? So they run out of money and time and wind up bankrupting themselves, or, you know, working themselves to death, or just ultimately causing them to give up before they ever actually make it, okay? So it's not the lack of a vision. It's the fact that being a pioneer often eats up your resources way too fast and way too quickly that you aren't able to survive long enough for it to finally click through and work, right? Now, there is no need to reinvent the wheel. This is what we're talking about, pioneers, right? Pioneers reinvent the wheel. They're the ones that they've got their hammer, they got their chisel, and they're out there trying to figure out a way to make a better wheel that's not round, right? They're like, man, this round thing works, but I got something better. Let's try an octagon or something goofy, right? They're always trying stuff. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So what I'm asking you is to put away your chisel, put away your hammer, and, you know, let the arrows that other entrepreneurs, other ecompreneurs have taken in the back help you shortcut your learning curve, help you shortcut your success. Because it doesn't have to be the fact that your business, the growth of your business almost kills you, okay? It doesn't have to be that way. The path less traveled is great in some cases, but in others, it's better to model what's already worked, okay? Rather than, again, the wheel's been invented. Why reinvent it again, okay? Especially in e-commerce, okay? So let me tell you a story that'll kind of tie this together and make it make more sense. So I'll give you some backstory and then I'll tell you the actual story. So in the e-commerce world, Build, Grow, Scale, our company, is kind of the 800-pound gorilla, okay? We are kind of the dominant force in taking big, or even any kind of e-commerce company, and making them massive market leaders and dominating their space with crazy conversions and average order value and all that stuff, okay? And part of the reason for that is we have a ridiculous amount of team and resources to throw behind it. Just in our conversion rate optimization department alone, we have 6, okay, full-time US-based optimization experts whose entire job is to do nothing but analyze data, run split tests, research new opportunities, test optimizations, try colors, everything you can think of. That's their full-time job, okay? And on top of that, they have 4 full-time developers and 2 programmers on staff to help them implement and test all that stuff, plus the millions of dollars a month of ad spend, okay? Okay, so it's really like an unfair advantage that the sites that work with Build, Grow, Scale have, okay? Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because we make all of that available. Everything we're doing, we teach and show and teach how to implement inside our Ecom Insider program, which brings me to our story, okay? So that's the background. Now, inside our Ecom Insider program, we have a guy named Matt, okay? And he's been with us for a couple of years, and he's been in the program, and he's got a store that's already doing 7 figures, already was doing 7 figures, was doing well, okay? Yet, his store was constantly struggling to grow, okay? He'd take a step forward, take 2 steps back, he'd upload a new theme, he'd try an optimization, he'd change colors, he'd add more products, he'd delete products, he'd try drop shipping, he'd try, hiring a developer to make a custom theme. He'd try, Klaviyo, he'd try MailChimp, he'd try all this different stuff, okay, and just flailing around, and his store was struggling. Yeah, it was doing 7 figures, but he couldn't grow, he couldn't gain traction, and it felt like he was just, constantly climbing uphill as the mud is raining down the hill, pulling him down, right? Now, Matt's a smart guy. He's a very talented e-compreneur, but he was trying to be a pioneer and do it all himself and figure it all out as he goes, okay? Now, the thing here was that that's how it continued for a couple years. Now, Matt was out in Reno. He came out to visit us at our office, and he was out here, and it took until he came to the office to visit us, and he actually saw firsthand all the optimization stuff we were doing, all the site development work, and saw the team working and how quickly and the amount of data that we were able to process and evaluate and all of that stuff, that he finally realized, whoa, what am I doing? Like, why am I trying to sit here and chisel my own wheel when these guys are already willing to hand me the wheel and bolt it right onto my car, right? But that's what he was doing, and literally, it took for him to have his little aha, where that day, he said, I'm done. I don't need to be a pioneer, okay? I'm just going to model the success that they've already had. We've already got 300 plus hours a week of optimization and analyzation and data research and split testing going on in our offices. The 6 people plus the developers and everything, that's over 300 hours a week of that going on constantly, all backed up by tens of thousands of dollars of ad spend a day. It's hard to compete with that. Why not just leverage it? Why not model what we have? We're happy to share it. We actually share it actively with our Ecom Insider members. So if you're an ecompreneur, go out there and model what works, okay? Stop being the pioneer who keeps taking an arrow after arrow after arrow in their back while you're struggling to figure out why is e-commerce so hard, okay? Because honestly, it doesn't have to be that hard. Because if you model what works, and model data that actually is real, and you're using stuff that actually works, then you're going to have a much easier time of it. It does not have to be like that. It didn't have to be like that for Matt. He wasted 2 years struggling with his store, trying to pioneer it out, when all he had to do was just model what he already had access to, model what works, model what else was out there. And I'm not saying copy, guys. Like, copying is dumb. Oh, well, you sell this product, I'm going to sell this product too, and I'm going to sell it for a lower price. Well, you can try that, but we have the data to prove. We know what price points work. We know what products work. We know all that stuff. So if you try to copying us, you're going to fail, okay? You're better to model it with what you're already doing and using the principles that make our stuff work, right? So what happened with Matt once he had that aha moment? His store tripled. It's on track to do more than triple in the next year compared to what it made last year. Okay? And he's now free to focus on the things that are actually making a difference in his business and all the other stuff he has to focus on, right? Because he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. So my message to you, my challenge to you is stop trying to, blaze a new trail. Stop trying to take the road less traveled when it comes to e-commerce. Be a smart working e-compreneur and model what works. If you need to know what to model and what is working and things like that, you don't have to go very far. Take a look at our Ecom Insider program, check it out, see if that's for you. And if it's not, that's cool too. But we have everything there. We literally show you exactly what we do. We show you the sites, we show you the optimizations, we show you the hacks, we show you the implementation. We give you the emails, we give you all of it. Why? Because we want you to model us. Why should your journey to success be any harder than it needs to be? There's more than enough stuff out there. There's no saturation in the e-commerce market. It's a growing, massively huge market that continues to get bigger every day. So my point here, guys, is not really about Ecom Insider. My point is, that was just an explanation or an example. My point really is, realize that you do not have to be a pioneer, and that ultimately, if you want to build a successful business quickly, you don't need to be a pioneer. Unless your business is the next Uber, being a pioneer is actually going to be detrimental to your success. So guys, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao.